Hey, welcome. I'm PopPop. Welcome to PopPop's Lit RPG World. I have new little banners and all this fun stuff. Thanks to Steve Landry, you have to give him the proper plug for making that for me. Tonight I have Shawn Hall, super fan, author, and a magnificent moderator. Shawn, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. You are the first of the Shawns that I'm going to be interviewing. I've set it up with the whole slew of you
Oh,
to
you're going to have
do
fun then.
conversations. Lots of fun happening this week. Going to be very busy. And I do thank you for being the first one to come in and chat with me, having this wonderful conversation. So the way I do this is we really do have a conversation. It's not a serious series of questions and banging on all our authors because I just like everyone to get out and talk.
Yeah,
So you have a long history in lit RPG. So
I
why
do.
don't you give me a little bit of your fan history first and how you got to be what you are?
Sure. Yeah, so I stumbled across it just like pretty much everybody else in this genre, right? One of the first books I ran into was Dakota Kraut's Divine Dungeon series. And what kind of really got me into the genre was that reading it, um, actually finding errors, and then reaching out to Dakota and his wife Danielle about these like mistakes I was finding in his books to get him to fix it and help him out, that kind of deal. And it was interesting because from that point it turned into like a beta read kind of role. They started hitting me up and saying, "Hey, um, you helped us out with this book. Do you want to help us out with others?" And so I'd get sneak previews of the books, right, and get this go through them with a few others to find the errors and help them out, and that kind of steamrolled into helping others out, like Jacob Tanner, Jonathan Brooks. I've read, oh man, almost all of his stuff in a beta read, and various others. Atheon, read a couple Tao Longs and stuff like that. So it's been uh, it's been interesting doing that, and then so getting known in the genre. Uh, it's kind of funny how tight knit this group is, and how everyone kind of gets to know each other real quick, as you probably saw at the con, and
Oh
others have
yeah.
seen in this group. Um, and yeah, so while we were in there, Don was looking for some help with the group Lit RPG Books, and I offered. And since they knew me, I had done some beta reading for Don as well when she was with Mountain Dell Press. I got into that, and then um, it was almost like she was trying to train me up for a little bit because she needed to step back for a minute to kind of take a break and refresh type deal. And so I took over her role there for a little while, a couple months, I think, and then she came back and just kind of working more in the background as a moderator, and yeah, just having fun with the group, watching it grow. I mean, I think we're a little over 51,500 people in Lit RPG Books. So it's like the largest Facebook group for this genre, and it's just been a blast. I mean, we just had that huge contest, and hopefully, when the next con rolls around, we're looking at 100,000. And have another big
That would
giveaway.
be a nice. That would be huge growth, but you're there and everyone knows it.
Oh
Um,
yeah, definitely.
when you do a beta read,
Yeah.
are you more like a copy editor or are you actually analyzing, looking for consistency, et cetera, et cetera? What do you do when you're doing beta
Well,
for a
it
novel?
really depends on what the author wants. Some authors are only looking for certain things, like they only want the spelling, right? Some want any plot holes that I might find, or even sections of books that or section of the story that might be slow, a little boring, or maybe something a little too fast. So they like pacing questions and stuff like that. So it really all depended on uh, who wanted the beta read and exactly what they were focused on. I tend to fall more into finding the spelling errors, and kind of like a prime example. I just did finish a beta read where the person described their character as a female half elf, and then after that point, every comment about that person was he instead of she. So I had to go through and keep noting that, hey, you got to change the gender here
Yeah,
because,
watch your pronoun.
and yeah, so it's like, so either go back and change it into a male half elf or make all these changes throughout the story. So yeah, so there's stuff like that. It all just kind of depends on what the author's looking for.
So all these years you've been doing the beta reading and meeting other lit RPG people, getting to know all the authors. How
Oh
did
yeah.
that how did that give birth to Shawn Hall, the author?
You know, it's fun just reading all these stories and having all these ideas. I love video games and I love reading. I've always been a reader. And it's kind of funny what got me into reading was my parents because they back in the day when like Nintendo came out, so age myself a little bit. Um, they told me for every hour I read was an hour I could play video games. And the next thing they know, they couldn't get me, they couldn't take the book out of my hand because if I wasn't reading, I was playing the games. So it really got me into reading, and I'm like reading like 300 books a year type deal. And so reading all these and enjoying the stories, I thought, maybe I could write my own series. So actually, my very first book I wrote was actually a kid's book for my daughter. She was turning 5, and I wrote a little story for her that was like called Chloe and Mingo because her favorite animal was flamingos, and so it was about her getting a pet flamingo, which unfortunately is illegal across the U.S. So yeah, after I wrote that, she's like, "So when do I get my pet?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's not happening. Here's a book." And then I did a short story in a anthology that Royal Guard Publishing did with Marcus Sloss called Legendary Lit RPG. And from there, I just thought, I wanted to write a story that was a little bit different than what everyone else was doing. Like, I really like the system apocalypse kind of, or post-apocalyptic
Yep.
side of lit RPG. And everyone's always like, the aliens are doing it to the humans, and I wanted to kind of flip the script on that and have it like corporate America or corporate, humans doing it to the alien planet for the resources and just making it kind of like a Hunger Games type deal. Like they're all making bets and wages while they're watching the planet destroy itself, in essence.
And I am just about there.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful now. Um, I was reading. I'm reading a ton of books. You know
Oh
that
yeah.
I like to read,
Oh yeah.
and I read a lot slower than I would listen, but I don't usually listen as a primary source. But with you coming up so quick and me working on a couple other books, I decided to. I downloaded volume one onto my
Yep.
Kindle, started reading it, and I said, "Oh, look, there's audio here." I got it for free. So what the heck?
Nice.
I clicked that on, and who was I listening to all of a sudden? Who does your narration?
Luke Daniels does my narration for the Goblin Apocalypse series. So he's great, great narrator. Definitely well loved in this genre.
Yep.
So I was very privileged to be able to get him to narrate my books.
And I really enjoyed that, and it got a lot quicker. Uh, a little farther into the book with him, listening to him while I was reading another
Oh
one,
yeah.
to get further in and get along. And I'm at the point where you have a couple. It appears like you have a local AI and
Yep.
then a higher step
Yeah. You
AI.
have Manel, and then you have the Universal Mind.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah,
So,
kind of like where they're all synced in, and then he's the personal AI for Lauren.
which okay, pick a goblin. Go ahead, have fun with the goblin. Um,
Yeah,
so I can't wait to get a little bit farther and deeper into that. So that's a trilogy, and is it complete?
that is
And
a complete trilogy at this time. Yes.
and what is going on in Shawn Hall's mind now? What do we have brewing up there?
Yeah, so I actually have a another book on Royal Road called Amaranth Towers. So that the full book one is on there right now. It's about 170,000 words. If that one follows a four siblings as they try to conquer a tower that has been releasing beast waves for like the last 60 years. So they a beast wave attack the beginning of the book. A beast wave is attacking the city. The parents like say, "Hey, get in the car, take off." And as they take off, they get teleported into a dungeon. In essence, they were given the chance to like complete this dungeon, and by completing the dungeon, they are awarded a chance to complete the tower itself. And so they get some special uh, classes. Sorry, trying to think. It's a little late. And
Yes, I know.
the difference on in this story is that there's not really. It's more cultivation progression in essence, because instead of having like levels and that kind of deal, they have rings to that show their power. And as they get um, more powerful, they get more rings. And then also as they learn more of certain skills, the rings become more detailed. So, prime example, the oldest sibling is David, and he is an elemental knight. And then he get his first element is fire. And so as he gets stronger in his fire capabilities, his ring gets more detailed and looks more realistic type deal. And then as he gets his second element, he gets a second ring that shows that element and that kind of deal. So it's kind of a like tattoo that can, at a glance, people can tell how strong others are and that kind of deal. So
So, and when you're up on Royal Road, are you writing under Shawn Hall, or do you have a pen name, or
yeah, it's just listed as author Shawn Hall.
okay?
And so that book is done at this time, and I'm uh man about 80,000 words into book two. I'm kind of questioning about putting it on Royal Road because unfortunately you see all the issues that go on there. Like I just dealt with an author the other day who um, he posted his book on Royal Road and then someone copied it like almost word for word. You look at side by side and they would change like one or two like words. Like he had a number system for his planet, and that was like the only difference between the two pages was the numbers type deal. So yeah, and I see those kind of issues, and then I question if it's worth putting it on there and chance to have it uh, stolen. In essence, I did
You do
find
the same
another.
thing under a Patreon.
Huh?
Can't you do the same thing with the Patreon and have a little bit more control over it, even though you may not have as wide of a distribution?
Yeah, I know a lot of people who do really well at Patreon, and I really need to take time to learn it. I think because I know there you got the tiers and that kind of deal, and I tried it when I first came out with my Towers book, um, but it wasn't working really well for me. I don't think I was figuring it out. Uh, Part of the problem I have is I tend to be a little bit of a slower writer, and it's mostly just due to how busy I am. I have four kids, which the characters or the siblings in the Tower book are all named
Yeah.
after my kids. So they're all excited that they get to be in books, and all their classes are based kind of on their personalities as well. So it's pretty fun that way. Um, but then it's like I'm also working full time. I do Taekwondo with my family. Uh, and then I'm also working on my master. So it's like I
Oh
have
my
so
God.
much going. Yeah,
On.
I got
What
a
the
lot. I
heck?
got. I'm a glutton for punishment, I think, and yeah, so I tend to write a little bit slower. So I have book one of the Towers on Royal Road. Book two is about 80,000 words. Um, and then I also have another series or another book I'm working on, kind of a standalone. It's a slice of life story.
Hmm.
It's about a truck driver who gets isekai'd by his own truck and becomes a caravan master in a new world.
There you go. Okay, there's a couple similar out there floating around. I saw.
Yeah, I know. Me and another guy were talking about it on a Discord page I'm on. Oh man, Immersive Inc. We are going back and forth about who's going to have the better slice of life caravan story.
Well, we're going to
So,
talk about it. We're going to talk about immersive ink. That's a good little segue there. Um, so during the con Saturday
yep,
morning, there was a breakfast.
yes,
The immersive con people. We had a diner in downtown Denver, someplace a few blocks away from the Grand Hyatt, that opened up
yep,
just for immersive ink. Found out that the owners were actually going to the con. And
Well, I
I
didn't
don't
hear
know
that part. That's interesting.
who did that. Did Jared find out about it, or one of the
I don't
members
know.
found out about
I
it
think
and had it all set up?
it's either Fid or Fabi. I'm sure. Probably Fid.
And I got an invite,
Yep.
and you were there. Shawn
Yep.
Wilson was there.
Yep.
Always Rolls One was there, and then a whole slew of immersive inksters
Yeah.
was there, and that was a lot of fun. Now, what is your how are you involved with Immersive Ink? What do you do with them since you're so busy?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a lurker mod with them as well. So they were looking for more assistance. I joined them when they were, I think, under 200 people, maybe about 150 or so. Um, and I joined in, and they started growing. They were doing contests of like inviting people. That was kind of fun because I won that initial contest. They like, oh, let's have a contest of who can invite the most people. So I'm like, okay, and I posted it in Lit RPG Books. It just had a bunch of people join. Yeah, I'm like, it wasn't really fair to everybody
Was it
else because I'm
cheap?
like, if anyone else posts, I'm going to delete your comments so they can only join through my link, kind of deal. Um, yeah, so they have fun contests. They do some short stories in there about 2,000 words or so, and I've done a couple in there, and those have been fun. But yeah, I'm more of a lurker mod. Um, unfortunately, Discord is just too busy for me. Like I get in there and I'll try to follow a conversation, and before I know it, it's scrolled and there's about 50 more comments in there, and it's like trying to follow all this. Um, so yeah, I try to help out where I can, but mostly I think it's also a good way for them to keep in touch with what's going on and books and that kind of deal. Because I tell them when stuff's happening and that kind of deal. Also, Shadow Light Press is my publisher. They picked up my Tower series,
Oh,
so
good.
they're waiting till I get into about book 3, and then they'll start working on releasing my publishing books 1 and 2 of my Tower series. But then they also picked up Goblin Apocalypse because I self-published that and found out very quickly I don't like marketing, and don't really have the time for it and that kind of deal. So they've been real gracious with that, and they picked it up and helped me. They actually redid the cover of Goblin Apocalypse, um, the first one, and we're
So
going to work through the other two.
is the cover? If I go up, I like my bookshelves.
Yeah, yeah,
Ultimately, the Kindle will not stand. The
yeah,
Kindle copy will not stand. The copy that's out now on Amazon, is that the new cover?
yeah. So I actually have this one right here.
Yeah, that's it. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's the new cover that they did. I think they did a great job with it. I mean, I like my original cover, but it's not very genre specific. And I should have listened more to people when they tried to give me help, but I just really liked the kind of concept I had for it. Hold on 1 second here. I actually,
Hey,
sorry,
look
I
at
have
the
a
shirt.
bookshelf.
Great
Huh?
shirt.
Oh yeah, the
Go off your shirt.
I don't hold gourd. I hoard books. So yep. And then so this was the original cover, and I think you can kind of see it if you look at the audio
Yeah.
version. I think they still have this listed. Um, I liked it because in the sense it was the main character Lauren kind of standing up on a hill and watching his town burn below him type deal, and he's looking a little defeated. But again, it wasn't very genre specific. It's not very
I like the
actiony,
font.
which
The
yeah,
font.
I thought they did a great job. Just again, not very specific to the genre, so I think it got overlooked quite a bit. And with Shadow Light, they helped me out and got me a new cover that I think works really well as well. So I'm looking forward to what they do with the next two.
Now, Shadowlight seems to like to help out the immersive ink people as well with their
Oh yeah.
publishing because I've noticed that they've done Dominic Ruiz's
Mhm.
regression books. That was the very first regression book I've read. Now, unfortunately, I now like regression. I haven't I haven't met a subgenre that I haven't liked, and that's just a horrible, horrible rabbit hole to fall down again and again and again and again.
It just
So
makes your to be read pile that much bigger. It helps you
It's
hoard books, so you can be that bookworm.
I'll get to that. I want to see that T-shirt as well too eventually. Yeah, it's a never-ending story, unfortunately. Not to steal a title, but
It's very valid,
never-ending
though.
list. So that's cool there. I do like the guys and gals over at Immersive Inc. They're helping me
Yep.
out as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
great people.
Butopia at the after the first meeting of the con came out behind me and goes, "Pop Pop, I need to take a picture with you,"
Yep, they
because
thought
they
you were a
weren't quite.
troll or a
They
bot.
thought I was a troll or a bot. I guess I did a
Yep.
really good job at creating the pop-up persona on the Discord server for Lit RPG Con. That was
Yeah.
I did create a boomer persona that the below decks people accepted wonderfully.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
after we took over that first book discussion room and turned it into something horrible. I'm not sure if you spent time down there, but it was scary for people to just wander into it. That's why Geneva had to put up the not safe for work and 18 and below, stay away, and all that fun
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
but that was
definitely.
hilarious. And I
What
and I still have those blurbs on Immersive Ink photos, so I can bring those up every once in a while as well. That was always fun.
Oh yeah, and I'm super excited for the second
Oh, I
annual
cannot wait. I
con.
can't.
I can't wait. I've already got my hotel and tickets, and I'm like, let's go. Let's do
Yeah,
it now instead.
I have to figure out
But
how long, what Gibbons wants to do. She wants to get to the mountains. She wants to do a little bit more, and she has a friend out in Colorado, so maybe they can get to do something because she's not necessarily all Connie and
yeah,
not all panelists. I can see myself not really sitting through as many panels as I did because we now know people.
oh
Um,
yeah.
so it definitely will be a fun, and I think it's going to be a little bit bigger than 1,000 or 1,200 people.
Yeah, I think especially as I mean, pointing at Dinnaman, right? Especially as his gets more and more popular, and even once that TV series comes out that they're talking about, I mean, that'll just blow this up even more so, right? And then like Immersive Inc.'s deal, and with even Lit RPG Books is, a rising tide raises all boats. So the more
Yeah.
people we can get in, it's just better for everybody,
Well,
right?
no, I mean, we have
So,
Atheon doing
oh yeah,
the books going out to bookstores hopefully now. So you're going to be able
yep,
to go into Barnes and Noble and have a lit RPG section.
yep,
I know the first few books they're putting out through the fall and spring aren't really genre specific. They're not really lit
yeah.
RPG. Those aren't going to be hitting until next summer.
Yeah, well, Atheon, I mean, they are very well known in lit RPG, but that's not their only focus.
But
They'll pretty
yes,
much do all of it for the most part. Yeah, but I know at the last con, I spent most of my time actually in the merchant hall because I've worked and know like all those people in there, right? So it was kind of fun to be able to be like walking around and talking to people and getting to know them face to face. I'm like, we talk all the time on, Facebook, but now I actually get to put a name to a face and kind of deal. So that was a lot of fun too, to just sit and chat.
and well, Gims put a very, very strict limit on my spending ability for the first con because she knew that I would just spend
Oh yeah.
untold goblins about money, just tons and tons. So that was really cool. And when I actually walked back to Jez's table,
Yeah.
region, and I saw the Ryan Maxwell's book,
Oh
and
yeah.
that wasn't supposed to be out. It's not even out yet,
Nope.
technically.
Yeah, he
But
had a few early release copies.
oh boy, did I snag that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
So
I missed out on that one, unfortunately. I had hit my budget limit for books and stuff. But I mean that con was great. I mean, just a story from the con that I really like is I was talking to this one girl, first con, never been. She was super excited. She had a bit of a habit problem like we all do of spending too much on books and buying more and more books. But she had said that she was trying to get her husband into the genre, and so she got Dungeon Crawler Carl, the audiobook, and she was playing it in the car and kind of got him hooked. And as we're talking, Jeff Hayes is starting to walk by, and I was like, "Oh, well, have you met Jeff yet?" And she's like, "No." She's looking a little nervous, and I was like, "Hey, Jeff, come here." So we started talking to Jeff, and while we're talking to Jeff, Matt walks up,
Oh my God.
and so she just starts fangirling like so hard right there. And then I was like, "Hey, you want to take a picture with them?" And she's like, "Oh my God, yes." So yeah, it was pretty fun. And then like the rest of kind of keep running into her, and then I'd be pointing out where she could get more books for her, or like where more authors were signing and
Yeah.
whatnot. And yeah,
That,
so
the same thing happened with Dims. We're up in mid Florida,
yeah,
and we had an appearance down in down by Miami, about 4 hours away, back in May. And she said, "Yeah, I'll go." So we like took off on a Sunday afternoon, driving down through Florida, and I did the same thing. Got it on Audible because she has to know what she's getting into. And we were
yeah,
listening to Jeff on the way down, and she's like, "Shh, I'm listening." So she started getting there. She saw Matt. She saw how great he was and how cool he is, just to listen to it. How much of a normal guy he is too.
oh
Um,
yeah,
the guy at the bookstore was a little bit off. He just didn't do enough research, so I was a little perturbed at him more than anything. But no, she listened to Matt. I also put on I'm Not the Hero, book one,
okay,
and she was a little bit iffy about that one, even though she
yeah,
loves Tommy, you know.
yeah.
So that was a little bit. It takes a little bit to get her interested, but she is reading Apocalypse Parenting now as well.
Oh,
So
Aaron's book is awesome. That's one of my favorites. So
so that's good there too. I
yeah,
did Aaron's interview last week, and
I
she's a
did see that. Yeah.
gem. She is so
Oh yeah.
much fun to talk to, and she's very easily going to do a second book. Um,
Oh yeah, she's
so
she's funny. I kept hounding her for I wanted signed copies of her books, and I was like, "Hey, do you do these?" And she's like, No one's ever asked, and I don't know." Like, and I'm like, "Well, I want them," and so now every time she comes out with the books, I'm like, "So can I get that one now too?" So she's sending. I'm waiting. Um, I'm waiting. I think to get the last two, Engineering Odyssey and her latest, Parenting. So looking forward to getting those signed copies. And then so I have two boys, two girls, and my youngest son likes to read a lot of lit RPG, so he loves Aaron's books too. So he's like, "So when are those coming? I want to read them."
oh God,
Yeah, so it's getting pretty funny. I actually, now that you reminded me, I gotta be like, "Where's my books?" I got an
go bug
addiction. You got to
her.
feed my addiction.
That's what it is basically too.
Oh yeah,
And I fell down. It's so much fun. I've only been here since January.
yeah.
Literally, this year is my exposure to lit RPG. That's a
Oh
lie.
wow.
Um, I didn't know Travis Baldree was lit RPG when I saw Legend and Latte. They made that really beautiful little
Oh yeah,
green
yeah.
hardback cover with that in the second book. And
Yep.
you give me a good cover, and I will buy it. And I just didn't know. I didn't
Yeah.
know how adjacent or how involved he was at that point, so I had no idea. And that's not lit RPG. That's
No,
really.
that's more cozy, but yeah, but he's like one of the top five voices easily
Oh
in
God,
this
yeah,
genre.
yep,
He's in such high demand. He's like, I heard he had like a year and a half wait list to even get him, and then it's like it's very tight. So if you're not ready, like if you book him out, but you're still not ready, well, you lost your spot. Too bad,
that's it.
move on to the next
Yeah.
one. So, but Travis is amazing. I mean, I've gotten a chance to meet him on several occasions, especially working with Mountain Dale Press and that kind of
Mhm.
deal. So, yeah, and it's just crazy. Like, I don't know any other genre that seems to be as um, tight knit or open as ours, because it's like you could at the con, you could walk up to anybody or any author and not no one was going to blow you off, right? Even Matt, like you could walk up to Matt Dinneman, probably obviously the most probably well-known author in this genre, right?
Mhm.
Him and Shirtaloon, and they weren't going to blow you off. They'd sit there and chat with you and
Yep.
whatever, take pictures, signed. Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel it's like one of the most approachable genres for people.
And that was really amazing too, because I just walked in on Thursday. I said, "Come on, let's go up." When we got there, even pure example, we get there on Thursday. We're taking the train in. Rin Striker
Yeah.
is on the Discord saying, "Hey, I'm going to go to breakfast." I'm like, "Oh, can you wait, please? We're almost there." Rin waits for
Yep.
us to take the train down into Denver, get our stuff up to the Holiday Inn, and then come back down to the Grand Hyatt.
Oh
And
yeah.
she waits for us. And with her is Jay Krause and his wife,
Yep.
and the five of us go up to Syrup, and hopefully that's going to be sort of a tradition. But what the heck? Who does that? You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I told people all the time. I'm like, this con felt like it was a giant family reunion where we all actually liked each other.
I
You know, because it
I
was like you
totally
could
agree
talk.
with that.
Yeah, you could have a conversation with somebody. I mean, you could just. It didn't matter. It was like they could just be sitting there and they would drop whatever they're doing and just have a chat with you. It wasn't like any kind of. No one felt. I didn't get the impression anyone felt like inconvenienced to be talked to, or that kind of deal. Even
Oh,
during like the game sessions that went on, all those different game sessions, so you could sit there and chat with them in between their rounds or whatever, and yeah, no one seemed to have an issue with it.
well, what the
So
heck? I got to sit down with Aileron Khan for my gaming session, and like, whoa! I mean, thank you, Geneva. So,
yeah, Geneva does an amazing job. Her and Emily setting up
oh
that
my
con,
god,
and I can't wait to see what they got planned for us for the second year. You know,
they better
hopefully no more fires, but I did.
What's
I
not
did.
this? But you guys had air conditioning at the Grand Hyatt, at least, unlike we us down at the
I
Holiday
wasn't.
Inn.
I wasn't actually at the Grand Hyatt. I was in a Hilton, like about 5 miles away. So everyone was blowing up a couple of our phones because they're concerned since they didn't see us outside. Because I was also with David, Petrie, and Ryan DeBruin as
Mhm.
well. We were all staying out at this Hilton together, and people are blowing up all our phones, like, "Where are you guys at?" kind of deal. And we're like, "Oh, we're good. We're down the street." So.
And
Um,
they were like, "Well, PopPop's sleeping." I saw him. I was. We were. We were.
Yeah, I was sleeping too. I didn't see any of the messages till I woke up, maybe at like 6 in the morning. Uh, and then it was funny too because I told Geneva, I'm like, we need to make the official song for year two that we didn't start the fire.
You have to change the words somehow.
Yeah,
Come up with something different, and leave it.
I did write some lyrics, but I'm not very good with vocals. So
And leave it to the other Shawn to come up with an isekai for it. So we have to see if
of
that
course,
is on.
of
So
course. Well, it was fun. I actually wrote a chapter in there. So he's like letting the other authors write them. I know he's been super busy with things going on, so I don't think there's been a whole lot of updates on it. But yeah, he's like, yeah, if you want to write a chapter, send it over, and I'll add it. And obviously, you got in on a chapter with
oh boy,
Hunter.
did I get a good chapter with Hunter and with Kyle. Yeah, we make a good team.
Me and my goblins, we're going to take over the world with sticks. We're going to go find a bunch of sharp, pointy sticks, and we're going to take over the world.
Gonna have to take a lot of goblins to do that. So
Hey, they breed like rabbits, all right? So there'll be lots of goblins, lots of pointy sticks.
so what else is happening in the world of lit RPG that you know of, you think should happen? Where do you think we're going in terms of the next phase?
Oh man. Someone posed that question in one of the groups.
I saw that.
Um, yeah, and
Oh,
you
that was
know,
the Immersive Ink group. That was the Immersive Ink Facebook. That was JD
oh
Molinary.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I know I saw that in a group, and it's like, man, trying to put everything together with all I got going on. I think post-apocalyptic is definitely gonna be here to stay. People love their,
Oh, I love it. So yeah,
those
I hope so.
the dystopia, right? They love that kind of thing. I mean, even if you look at movies or even just regular fantasy, those are very popular subgenres in essence. So I don't think that's going anywhere. Regression seems to be kind of making a little bit of a move. Like there were some before, but I'm starting to see more regression and more card deck or deck building type stories seem to be more and more popular. I mean, like you had what John Stovall, who's doing the Demon Card Enforcer
Yep.
series. So,
Honor
you
Ray
know,
has Honor Ray has her series.
yep. Yeah. And then there was also Jake's Magical Market, which kind of became a bit of a card. So, yeah, I mean, I'm seeing more of those cropping up as well. But I still think that Apocalypse is probably still going to be king of the pile for a while.
Towers are pretty cool too. I almost think of them
Yeah.
as reverse dungeons.
Yeah. They,
Because you have to ascend into them.
yeah.
But
Instead
you're
of
gonna find them
descending, but
you'll find them more
those,
with the cultivation or with the ascension type as
yeah.
opposed to true crawling.
Yeah. Well, and you have some good ones out there. Like Jacob Tanner's got his Second Chance Swordsman, which is a tower climber. You know, Ryan DeBruin has a tower climber called Star Towers, kind of deal. But they're they're kind of hit or miss in a lot of cases. I know there are certain publishers that don't really like them because they are a bit of a gamble in essence. Um, so again, like anything else, if it's done right, it's a really good story. And Tanner does a good job. I am waiting for Ryan's next one in his series. Of course, he's got multiple series ongoing, so I know he's bouncing back and forth between them all. Um, but yeah, it's just yeah, it's hard to see anything else really creeping up other than maybe the deck builders and the regression making a little bit more of a move into being more mainstream compared to the apocalypse.
And what's on your short TBR list?
On
What are
my
you
short
reading?
list,
Your short list.
ooh, um, so I just finished uh, Library Reset by KT
That's
Hanna. I also just finished Aaron's latest book. And I've been going through Jez's Underverse series. And
That's
then, sorry,
Brightblade. That's Brightblade.
Brightblade is the first one.
I've
Yeah.
read maybe a chapter or two of that, and I have to get back into it. I read Rise of Mankind right,
Yeah.
before the con. So
Yeah. And I need to move into that one. But a lot of it's just, again, time. That's the big one, right? Is having enough of it. And so what am I right this moment I'm going through Oswald's Multiverse. I'm listening to his latest audio that just came out. So, what is it, book 7? Book 8? I can't remember. There's just so many of them. And then my wish list is
I only
always
have
like the
three
rest of
books.
them.
I only have 3 books on my shelf. So from that. So
Yep. Well, he was funny too. He brought all like a bunch of book ones from his series. And I ran into him and I'm like, oh yeah, you got the books. Can I get some? And he's like, well, which one do you want? And I'm like, I want to be a greedy little hamster and I want one of each. He's like, okay. So he signed them all. I know one of them even signed, thanks for spelling your name right, type deal.
well,
Yeah.
with,
So
with him, I went up and I was looking around and waiting, and he was at a panel, and I took the book up to him and said, "Hey, Shawn, can you sign this?" And
yeah.
I have PopPop on my label, and he just starts writing Steve. I'm like, how the hell did you know? And he says, I saw you on Facebook, and he made the connection, and
Well, how many
I look
pop
like
pops
me.
are there in this
Yeah,
genre? I'm just saying.
but then I was not PopPop on Facebook. I was just Steve. I
Yeah.
didn't have so he just knew that I was Steve. He just observed and made the connection. That was so cool that he was able to pinpoint. I guess that's that military background that he has to observe everything and know everything or something.
Yeah, Oswald's good people. I mean, he runs a couple groups as well in the the genre on Facebook. So yeah, definitely, I talk to him all the time, quite a bit. Um, but yeah, good people. And again, I just love the genre and how open we are to talking and having conversations and just this kind of stuff. It's like no one's like really getting mad at anyone else because, oh, your book's doing better than mine. Now I need to go downvote your book or whatever, or bash your book. No, it's like, oh, great. We can celebrate each other's successes and our
That is
wins and
true.
be like,
That's what I like to see.
yeah, definitely.
That's
So
what the
I
whole
just
purpose
love
of
that
my
we're,
conversations are about. That's what we're all going to do. They're all
yeah.
going to be fun, good little things like we're doing now.
Oh yeah. So, and it's just great. Like I said, we just had that big what was maybe 2 weeks after the convention, we had hit our mile marker of
Yep,
50,000
50,000.
members. And yeah, 50,000. That's a
I
mind-boggling number to
How do
me.
you do that? How can you? I mean, I'm assuming a lot of it's automated and botted, and you have to detect because there's just no way 4 or 5 people can handle what goes through there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we do have a bot. The bot has certain keywords that we look for. Um, And then also Facebook has keywords that they look for. So sometimes it's not on our list, but it's on Facebook's list and posts get pulled. But like it can be a lot. Like I know we were talking earlier, and one of the examples I use is like when we know Didimid's coming out with his next release, right? We might put some of those words in just so that the feed isn't completely nothing but Dungeon Crawler Carl, right? Or Princess Donut comments or things like that. I mean, we have no problem with the posts. It's just that's not what we want it to completely be, right? We want everyone to be able to talk and have their voices heard in the genre. And so yeah, when the release comes out, we might throw those in there, and then a couple days after, when it's kind of calmed down, we'll pull those back out, kind of deal, you know. Um, just again because we want everyone's voice, and it always kind of hurts or sad when you're like, oh, I just released a book, and then find out like Primal Hunter came out, or He Who Fights Monsters, or Dungeon Crawler Carl came out, and you're like, dang, all right, my book just got buried under the advertisements or the posts of that one type deal. So we still want everyone to be heard, and we for a while we were doing Ask Me Anything AMAs with
Right.
some of the lesser known authors just to kind of get their not necessarily lesser known, but maybe ones that don't have as many books out or as many sales or reviews and ratings, because that's a big deal too. Like, um, is the reviews and ratings, right? So many people read our books, but they don't leave those. And even if it's like you don't even have to put words, you could just go in and do a rating for a lot of these books. And that means a whole lot to the authors because as there are more ratings, their books get better seen through the Amazon algorithm and that
Mhm.
kind of deal. And that's the one thing I wish people were more consistent with. Now, if you didn't like my book, that's fine. Don't leave a rating. I don't know. But at the same time, I like hearing honest feedback. I mean, if people like to reach out to me and tell me like, hey, I read this in the book, I didn't care much for it. That's cool. Let's talk. I want to have those conversations with people. Um, I like honest feedback. I'm always a proponent of constructive criticism. Now, if you're reaching out to say you suck just to say you suck, um, yeah, I might not respond to that kind of stuff. But if you're going, hey, I saw you wrote this and I thought it might have been better if you did, I have no problem with that. And I'm always talking to a lot of the uh, busier authors or the bigger known authors like Marcus. I talk to him a lot. Um, Shawn Wilson, even though he spells his name wrong, I still
He
talk with him.
does. He does.
I know we got how many Shawns in this genre? There's like 5 or 6 of us, it
5 or
seems
6,
like,
and
and he spells his name wrong out of all of us. So I know there was a gaggle of Shawns at the con, kind
they
of
were
deal. And so it's I like having those good conversations with people, and just like how can I improve my craft type deal.
It helps.
So
It helps. And then there's
definitely,
wonderful, wonderful things like this, and this is going to be this is the first of the Shawns, guys.
I
And
am number one. No.
I am. You are number one. And So we're going to do all the Shawns this week, I hope. I have them all scheduled out.
Nice.
So we'll hopefully be able to put those up next week. I'll do some sort of marketing scheme to get you guys all, set up to go. And I'm gonna, of course, we do have the ability to do a lot of shorts. I
Of
don't do
course.
that, so we're gonna have little snippets to get people interested and all that fun stuff. And we're gonna have banners now. Look at that wonderful little banner down there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have to do them
I'm
all.
getting I get to be the first Shawn, and I get some of the new features, like
You
you had
have
your
the
new.
first banner. Yeah,
I get
it's
the first banner. I get your new logo
we
or
have to
pop up
work
that you had
at
at the beginning.
I know. I'm trying. I'm getting there. I'm getting
Hey, we
dragged.
all got to start someplace, right?
You got that right. So, all right. So I am gonna let you go.
All right.
You're still an hour behind me. Lucky you. So me, I'm tired.
I
I'm
don't doubt
asleep
it.
right now. So we are gonna
Well,
wrap it up here. Shawn, thank you so much again. Shawn Hall, author of The Goblin Apocalypse, masterful moderator on Lit RPG Books, the largest Facebook group for our genre. I'm assuming by tomorrow, the next day, you're going to pass 52,000. I think you're at 51.9.
yeah, I was actually pulling it up right now. It says 51.9. We're at 51,908, and we get about 100 a week, I think, is how we're growing right now. So,
sometime this week, you'll hit 52K.
oh yeah, definitely.
So, and also just a big old fan.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah, definitely.
father of 4, taekwondo, this, that, and the other thing. I just want to
Well,
learn how to Tai Chi so I don't fall down a lot as I get older. So,
yeah, well, it's funny. Like right before this, I had a Taekwondo class, and I'm the oldest one in it. Like, I don't think anyone else in the class of the students was older than 12. I'm like, I feel so old in there. And then
yeah,
they're
that
all
would
doing the push-ups and stuff, and I'm like, I can't do that. I got an injured shoulder. They're like, oh,
that
the joys of get older.
of getting older. Getting older sucks. So
Oh yeah.
everybody, thank you for joining Shawn and PopPop in the Lit RPG world. Keep an eye out for the other Shawn interviews. And as always, remember to stay off my lawn.